town in the south of Holland.
Holland, Livio.
Holland, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Oh, Livio, yeah, that's an Italian name.
Italian name.
Yeah,
okay.
but the meaning is not so beautiful.
No, we don't need the meaning, but we like the sound.
Okay, yeah, the sound. Yeah, so I live in Rotterdam. I'm in law school to become a notary. And
how many years already in law school?
I'm in my third bachelor year, so next year I'm going to do my master's degree.
Okay.
And I really like it here already. I really feel like I have a bonding experience with the group.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know you all that good, but it really feels like family. So,
yeah.
And also with you, because yesterday I met you and I was like, oh, how are you? Like, I have
old friend.
Yeah, old friend. Like I've seen and speaking to you for so long. But I was, I have a really funny story how I got connected to you.
Okay.
Because I was listening to a lot of teachings of the late Dr. Miles Monroe.
Right.
I read all of his books, and when he died, I saw you popping up on YouTube.
When he died, I popped up.
Yeah. No, really. You popped in YouTube.
Continuation of Miles Monroe.
Well, I first thought, oh, this is some Nigerian man who wants attention. Again, you know, because most Nigerians don't have a good reputation in Holland.
Yeah.
We think of Nigerians of scammers and you know, con men and those type of persons. Yeah. So I refused to listen to you and your teachings. I was like, no, this is an African guy. Please God, send somebody else to listen to, but not this guy. So I went to on holidays in my mother's native country, which is Suriname. It's in South America, and I like to read books. So I went to the bookstore, and there I saw your book, Church Shift, and I looked at it and I thought, oh, this guy again. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna read his book. So in every...
I'm not going to read this book.
No, I refuse to read your book. And in every bookstore and every church I visited, I saw your book. Do you even know Suriname?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I heard of it.
Well, you're famous there.
Ooh, okay.
And, well, I saw your book and I thought, okay, this guy must have some impact in the world or somewhere. So I felt in my spirit and just from the inside, just buy the book and read it and then judge him. So I read your book.
Don't judge just from the cover, right?
Yeah.
Read the book before you judge it from the content.
Yeah, and I was really amazed about your story and how you built the church and what you did in how the impact you have in this country.
Yeah.
Especially somebody from Nigeria, because well, I thought Nigerians don't do honest things. So I started to follow you on YouTube and listening to your messages, especially when I trained in the morning. I just listened to him just to see if you are really sincere and genuine. And I thought, well, maybe it is just not true, but you never ask for money or, you know, all those typical things you hear pastors do, especially in America and Nigeria and all those type of things. So I decided to come here and experience this myself, you know, everything you're doing.
Because what you are saying, this is the normal response of Europeans and people all over the world to Nigerians now and to Africans. You know, these people who are trying to preach the gospel from Africa, they have just messed up that. They just messed up the reputation of the country, of Africa, and of the gospel. And we have the responsibility now to present a new face of Christianity and of Africans to the world.
Yeah.
So when did you start to listen to me, and what are the messages you've listened to that touched you or that blessed you?
Well, it started in 2015, but my English wasn't that good, so I didn't know much about what the content was. So I started to learn English this January.
Okay.
And well, I really got inspired by your message of the kingdom of God, the series, when you teach us that nations are sons of God, and your promised land is also a son. Yeah. And I really feel a burden and a need to reach the youth of my country with the message of the kingdom, because we know about the salvation and, you know, the foundation that Jesus loves us, but not how to take the country and our nation over with the kingdom, with the message of the kingdom. So that's why I'm here to get trained. And well, what I see you guys have, the love and the passion and the excitement for Nigeria, I have it for Holland and especially for the youth. So that's why I'm here.
And it's very interesting that you will be the only one coming from Holland. You didn't see anybody who knows me or who is coming from there, but you believed and decided to come.
Yeah.
How, were you so inspired? How? Many people will say, no, I don't know anybody. They know maybe they are going to sacrifice me, or maybe the plane will come down, or the terrorists, the Russians will bomb it. Some fears from somewhere.
No, it's because you are so open. I sent you a message and you responded, and every time I send you a message, you respond, and you're so, it's not like you're far away. It's just like you're personal and a friend.
Yeah.
And you invited me to come.
Yeah.
And
and everybody yesterday also some people spoke and that surprised them. Well, that was you. Yeah. That you were surprised too. Why? I'm just a human being like you.
It's not common.
It's really not common.
It's not a common practice.
Yeah. Wow. I've never spoken to my pastor. He's a great guy.
He said he's never spoken to his pastor in your church?
No, never.
Wow. No. Wow.
Or if we did, it's just surface level.
Okay. No, but we need to change these things. We need to present a better Christ. I'm sorry. We need to present a better Jesus. Yeah.
You've started the journey. So.
Yeah, and I think we all need to do it, because with Jesus, it was with everybody. Even with the tax collectors and the prostitutes and the sinners. And he was going to their houses, talking to them. People were lying on him. He was... of course, you risk a lot of things, being accused of things, or people suspecting your motives. But if you are more concerned about Christ, I don't care what anybody will say. Yes. God knows my heart. Yes. But people will still abuse that kind of thing? Can you believe it? But we still all need to be like that. Yes. We all need to be like that. Thank you, Livio.
Thank you too.
Beautiful name, Livio. You've introduced yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Ephraim.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, my name is Ephraim. I'm coming from Canada, originally born in Mexico, so many years ago. Okay, but I'm still young. Okay, what I can share about HMT is this is my.
He's been here twice.
This is the third time.
Oh.
This is the third time, and really, it has changed my life and my vision or perspective how to see the life, especially when you talk about Jesus and the love of Jesus. Mm-hmm. How it impacts everyone's life, and how we can understand the way that we were created to do something purposefully with intentionality. And since Yes, please go ahead. So since I started studying God's principles, and I got in contact with Pastor Sunday as well through Pastor Derek in Canada, but it was more or less quite very similar story like Livio, because I tried to take this training in Canada, but I couldn't. So I started, following Pastor Sunday before coming here. And actually at home, my family and I were, listening his teachings, to really understand what God's kingdom was, or what God's kingdom is really, and start living with those principles, and doing as well that thing in my daily life, in my working life, and in my ministry as well. So, and what I have seen is really a very good impact in people. Because sometimes they say, what God has to do, for instance, with my finances, or with this area of my life. I have to deal with my stuff, and I don't know if He's able to do something for me. But, when you start talking about these principles, people start realizing. And obviously, when I get people like that, I send them directly to Pastor Sunday's teachings.
YouTube, right?
Yeah.
YouTube, yeah.
So, and after that, well, I've seen people saying, "Oh, I didn't know this, I didn't know that," And even the very first time when I came, my son was with me.
Yeah.
And by then he was 17 years old. And he said that it was a completely different story in his life. It
was what?
A different story in his life,
Okay.
right? A different thing, because he was very touched. And I see now, for instance, in his reactions, he's now 18 years old. So in this age, youth goes up and down, right? And he wasn't the exception in that sense. But probably 4 weeks ago, he came to me and he said, "Dad, I want to do this," because he's taking a year off to define what he's gonna do for the rest of his life. He read the Who Am I, the book from Pastor Sunday. He read the Church Shift, and he has read, now he's reading the Poor Mindset compared with the Generous Mindset.
Yeah.
Mhm. And while working on his calling, and he came the other day and said, "Okay, Dad, I want to be the best, and I want to do this because I started, thinking that God is talking to me." And he said, "But I'm gonna need your help." I said, "Well, I'm here to help you for sure." But that is one of the good things I see, that when you get in contact with God's principles, the life changed. And in that sense, I want to say, well, thank you for, this calling that God made through Pastor Sunday, because he has been, generously giving these teachings away to so many people. And we have some in Canada. And it's really touching a lot of people. And I think it's creating a new vision and more effective vision who God is and what he wants for us and from us to do. And that has been so far my experience. In July, I came to take the training for trainers. With that, my mission is to take these teachings to Latin America, to the Spanish community around the world. Thank you.
Efren, I'm sorry, but for people who are not Nigerians, like Efren, the Canadian or Mexican or even Livio, for people who are not Nigerians or Africans, I've been biased, and I'm not ashamed of it, because for 30 years I've been like the face of Russia and Ukraine. Now I'm only talking Nigeria, Africa, Nigeria. So it's like a little bit, the message is for the world, really. But I have so much burden now for Africa and for Nigeria. So even though this belongs to the world, and thank God it's blessing people from other places too. But I think maybe we should, I shouldn't talk just to Africans. Maybe we should expand the coast to other countries and other nations. So,
if you allow me, I can say in addition to that for me, what you are teaching is really for the whole world.
Yes.
Even if you just dedicate it to Nigeria, because there is a purpose with that, and I understand that, and I think people understand that.
Okay.
But the fundamentals are for everybody.
Okay.
When I was reading the book that How to Save Nigeria, and this how to develop a country, I was thinking this is for any country in the world, especially those ones who are called, under development, like the third world or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
you read the book on Nigeria?
Yeah. I've been reading your book.
And some Nigerians say, I've not yet read the book on Nigeria. But you said it's for everyone.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Livwani Chikudo.
Were you born in Africa?
Yes.
Were you drinking a lot of milk when you were in Africa? Huh? Does your culture drink a lot of milk?
Not really, no.
Is your mom from Kenya?
No.
Malawi?
No.
South Africa?
Yeah.
What tribe? Zulu?
No.
They don't drink milk in your father or your mother?
They don't really drink milk.
Where
no.
do you get those teeth from? Because that teeth belongs to Somalians, Kenyans.
Wow.
Yes, those are thieves that belong to what do you call this? The people who are jumping in Kenya. What do you call them? The Maasai. You've got the Maasai teeth.
What is Maasai teeth?
They are like yours.
Okay.
Yes, or if you are from because it's an indication that your predecessors were drinking a lot of milk.
Wow.
Oh.
Yes, Tanzania, Namibia, some part of not Namibia. What's the other country? Botswana. They have a lot of people drinking milk.
Okay. Well, we're very close to Botswana.
Yeah, very close to Botswana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
Is-
teeth identification for Nigerians?
For Nigerians, you have your own features, but only not the teeth. But you see, out of all of us, we are all Africans, but our teeth stand out.
Yeah.
If you take note, if you smile, if you be lucky enough to see her smile, you will see that our teeth stand out, and there is a reason for it. It's not just because her name is
Lifwani.
Litwani. It's also because of her blood DNA, and
Oh, nice.
So take note of that.
Yes, I will. Okay. So like I said, I'm from South Africa, but I live in the UK now. I moved to the UK when I was 12 years of age, and how did I get to HMT? I can't explain it without talking about Queen Anastasia. I met Queen Anastasia when I was 13 years of age, probably a year and a half after I moved to the UK. So she's adopted me as my second mother. She's my second mom. When I met her, I was a broken little girl. And basically how I met her, just to quickly show, because there was a lot of people who were asking, so I thought I would take the opportunity to also explain that. She's always had a heart.
Can you get her face because she's sitting this way? Is it okay?
Oh, should I?
Is the camera covering? Okay. Go ahead.
So she's always had a heart for helping people. And so throughout that time, I had a friend who lived around where we are. So from my house to her house is literally like 2 minutes walk. So she had opened her house to become sort of like a space for young people who were growing up with
Beautiful.
maybe issues, or she just wanted to help.
Beautiful.
She just wanted to see those kids, for someone to, she just wanted to be the voice, not just the voice, actually the listener. She wanted to listen to us, and she wanted, to encourage us and to raise us up. So that's what she's been able to do. I'm very fortunate. I feel so blessed to have met this lady. She's so wonderful. Out of all the kids whom you used to
Work with.
yes, work with. Yes, that's it. I've been the one who've stayed close to her. I don't think you have any contact with the rest, do you?
Life
No.
has happened today.
So yeah, I would like to say that I wanted to be really close to her because I felt really free around her. I felt I could be myself around her, and I could see myself in her in so many ways.
You want to tell us how old you are, or is you don't ask ladies in Europe how old they are, just in case, Well, among the people here, just don't ask ladies how old they are. But
Well, I'm 25. So, yeah, so I met her when I was 13 or 14, I can't remember. Yeah, I'm 25 years of age. So throughout this meet, so we would meet in her house. Eventually, it was sort of like in a school. We got some funding. She applied for funding through the council, so we were able to have like a building where we would meet every Monday. So because she saw how responsible I was at the time, she gave me the responsibility to lead the group. But within that, I had so many issues. I had so many challenges that I was dealing with at the time. And I had questions because I was born in, well, the church that we go to in my house, with my family, we come from a Reformed Lutheran type of church. So growing up, coming to the UK, I was never really exposed to the Pentecostal charismatic churches and stuff. So I had a lot of questions. I wanted to find out why people speak tongues. I just didn't understand what is going on. I didn't understand why there were so many divisions in the church. If at all we're saying that this is the truth and this is the word of God. I didn't understand why there was Catholics. I didn't understand why there were Pentecostals. I just didn't understand why we just couldn't be all one and be all loving. I didn't get that. So due to my own curiosity, I told my parents that I'm going to go and look for a church somewhere, so that, because there were some questions that I would ask my pastor and he wasn't able to answer them. Like, why do people speak tongues, for example? So yeah, that led me to a whole another story. Through that, I got to realize how that actually the church that I used to go to was so much better than the one that
At this Pentecostal church.
than the one. So I decided, actually, let me just go back to my old church. That was much better and much peaceful. But the reason why I went is because I just had I'm a curious person. I wanted to find out what is it that the Lutheran Church are doing that Pentecostals are not doing, or vice versa, you know. And also, I understood from like a young age, like around maybe 15, that there was more to life than just having a normal job. There was more to life. I was like, this can't be it. I can't just go to a job. I can't just work. There must be more to life. So I would come to a house with so many questions. I wanted to find out, what is it that makes people successful? You know, what is it? But she led me to just listening to her. She's just been really great. When you're around Queen Anastasia, you grow, because she would push you. She would push you to the maximum, really. She really does push you. So that's how I got to meet. She met DSA, and through that she said, well, daughter, you guess what? And she always does, like, guess what, daughter? If there's a book, guess what, daughter? You have to buy this book. So yeah, so that's how I met DSA, and listening to him has been.
She cannot. There's no way she can speak louder than that.
And okay, I'll try.
Well. You mean she should speak louder? No, it's
Okay.
not. It's not our problem. It should be your problem somewhere there. Yeah, it's not our problem. Or maybe the thing is not working. Maybe the mic is not working. Let's
It's on. It's working.
Then it has to be far from her and that close. Okay, go ahead, please. It's not
Yeah.
your problem. Don't bother. It's their problem. Let them fix it.
Okay. So I've been really blessed to have my mom in my life. She's been such a blessing, because I was just really broken. I didn't understand. How do I explain this? I have to go back because so that you can understand. So I grew up not knowing that my father wasn't my biological father. So I found out around the same time that I met her. Well, just before. So because of that, and because I think deeply about things, there was so much negative attached to that, because I then understood why I went through certain stuff when I was younger. Yeah, I understood why I went through such a traumatic experience at that time. So meeting her was really, really good for me, because I don't know where I would be without this woman. I really don't know where I would be. She has carried me from like I said, from like when I was 13 or 14 and till today. She means so much to me. If she says, Livwani, get this book, it means it is so important. It means I need to get that book. She's not just saying it because it looks good or whatever. She really knows what she's talking about. So, because I had this thing that, I understood that, I can't just have this job or whatever, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know how to even discover my calling. So I really, really loved God, and I said to my parents, I'm gonna go and study theology and go to Bible school. And you don't do that in an African. My mom was like, nope, you're not gonna do that. My dad was like, nope, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna have to go to university and study something. So I thought, what am I gonna study? So I decided to pick a science, basically, because that's something that I enjoyed at the time. So to cut the whole long story short, I finished.
You really probably need to cut it short.
Yes,
so
I
that we'll get to other people.
I finished university last year, and I realized that everything that I went through before just started coming back. Like, my whole yearning of finding out who I am just became even more tense. And I just wanted to discover who I am. And because I didn't have the tools, I just shut down completely. Because everyone is telling me, get a job, but that was not in, as much as I would apply, that was just not in my heart. So DSA has been such a blessing, because I now understand myself better than before. I understand who I am. I'm discovering who I am every single day. His teaching has been such a blessing, especially the Who Am I series. That answered a lot of questions that I had growing up. Questions that I would go to pastors and they would not have answers for. Questions that led me to these churches, charismatic churches that made me even more confused. And so because of that, it's, just his teaching has been, I'm free. That's all I can say. I am free, definitely.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. The psalmist.
Thank you. Well, I would like to first of all thank God for the privilege of being here today, and to also thank all DSA family worldwide who are watching right now. And I know my family too is watching. And I also thank God for coming to meet my mentor for the first time. I got to know DSA about 7 years ago. Before then, I came to Germany. I think I've been about 14 years or thereabout. And when I came in, I looked at the environment, you know. I've been all my life in Africa. I grew up in the village. I went through a tough, hard family upbringing. I grew up in a very tough family, polygamous home. And I went through tough situations, like when I read your story, it's most of the things you went through, I went through as well. So coming from that background to Europe and seeing the level of advancement, I had a lot of questions. And I needed to know. I was born again at home. I went through, I worked with some of the big churches in Nigeria, in Lagos. I worked as a musician. I was trained there as a pastor before I came to Germany. And when I saw the level of development, I was wondering, now sometimes I will have to go out at night, walk on the street, and just be wondering, where have we been? What makes us, you know, what made us to be at this level? And I began to look at their system, how religious they are. I noticed they were not going to church as we go to church at home. And I look at the number of churches, they were not as many as what we have at home. And so that gave me a concern. I was wondering, why do we have so many churches and we are praying so much? Every Friday we have night vigils. We are doing everything, but our economy is not changing. We don't have constant light. And since I entered, Deutschland, they've never been a blink of electricity. I mean, like going off for a second. And look at my country. We have so many churches. We are praying. We are fasting. We are doing all sort of religious things. And sometimes 3 days you don't have electricity. So I had a lot of questions in my mind. I was wondering, what are we doing wrong? So that was why I began to seek for knowledge. I needed to know what was going wrong. So I decided to study their system and compare with our system. And I couldn't just reconcile it. So I decided to look for men of God to learn from. So I began to write to different men of God in America, those top pastors. I wrote to all of them, sent them emails. No one replied. And in Africa, I also wrote to all the top pastors. No one replied. I was kind of frustrated. So one time, God got me connected to a family I was teaching their kids how to play the piano. He told me, there's one Nigeria. So when I go there, they had a satellite. So they were having these English channels, Ben TV and Revelation TV. So he told me there's one Nigerian, and this family was from Ghana. So they told me there's this Nigerian in Ukraine who is doing great things, that I need to know him. So I noted that. So when I got my apartment, I decided to get the satellite immediately, and I started watching. So one of the days I was watching the Revelation TV, I saw Pastor Sunday's church and him preaching. And very unfortunately, I would say, I had a woman I took as a mother who was there with me. So we were watching together, and the way Pastor Sunday was laughing, the woman said, I bet he laughs too much. But he laughs too much. I said, but
He's not spiritual.
yeah, I said, but what he's saying makes sense. It's not the laughter that I'm concerned. But what he's saying makes sense. Yeah. So we have to listen. And we kept listening. And I looked at the church. Massive white people sitting on the edge of the chair listening. So I said, how come? I have looked all through American big churches. I've not seen any black pastor pastoring this crowd of white people. I've seen all the black pastors pastor black churches. All the white pastors pastor white churches. So what makes these people to follow this man? And this man is not an American. He's an African. And it's not just an African. He's a Nigerian, which I know how Nigerians are being looked at. Treated. How come that these people are Yoruba? So I said, I have to know what makes it. Is it really true? So I kept listening and watching, and you did some interviews with Yemi, the presenter, and so he brought out a lot of details about you. So I began to research, and I said, it's good, I need to listen to your messages. So, all the while I've been ordering messages of pastors from America, from Nigeria, but I noticed that your messages were free. And there was a website that all the messages, you could just go download. I said, what? I immediately bought an MP3 player, I downloaded them, and I started listening. In fact, that time I used to
buy, yeah?
I used to drive to go and drop my child at the kindergarten, but because of listening to the message, I had stopped driving. I had to walk, so that I would use that time to listen, going and coming. I listened, and we had already started our ministry about 1 year, which with black people. So when I listened to you, I said, it's like I've made a mistake in the ministry. And meanwhile, I had bought a ticket to travel to Nigeria that year to go and attend this Shiloh program.
Shiloh?
2 months, yeah.
What is Shiloh? Shiloh?
It's this Oyedepo's program.
Like annual?
Yeah, annual program. So 2 months to my trip, I discovered Pastor Sunday. So I regretted ever buying. After listening, I regretted ever buying. I felt like returning the ticket. So just stop. They told me, yeah, I've already. It was a fixed ticket, so I need to go. I cannot change, or I would forfeit the money. So I said, oh God, I've just regretted buying this ticket, but I needed to go. So I went there. I went to the place. In fact, after listening to you for that short while, when I was entering, because I registered as a pastor from Germany, so they took me through where Oyedepo goes in to sit, and they took me to go and sit behind him. And when I was entering, the kind of cars I saw, I was shocked. I have not even in Germany, I've not seen people. I've not seen people drive those kind of cars. I said, what? I was shocked. So I got and yes, jeeps that are so big, like maybe 30 of them lining here, lining for different parts. I said, how come that? This is so rich. So I sat there at the end of the day, and I was there the 2 days, and someone took me around the university. I went around and I just saw everything, but I was wondering, I had a lot of questions. So I began to ask how people are attending the schools, how people are the school fees. I noticed the amount. I said, but will the poor people afford this? Because I've never been there. I used to hear, but I didn't want to bother so much. So I came back to Germany. So I had these questions. What will I do? How do I reconcile this? I said, one mind said, write to Pastor Sunday. One man said, don't worry, you've been writing all this stuff past, they don't have time, they'll just forget. So one mind keeps telling me to write. So one day I just picked up courage. I sent him an email. I was shocked. In 2 days I got a reply. I said, what? Maybe it's automatic message. Let me just and when I read the content, when you receive an automatic message, the content is different from someone who's really writing to reply. So in order to confirm, I wrote him again. Another 2 days he replied. I said, then I think I'm in the right track. So I kept writing, asking him different questions, and in fact, he wrote me that he even has someone in Germany. He sent me his number and the contact of person. I should contact him. And I contacted the person, and we got connected. And I asked the person a question. He said, yes, it's true, everything. And that was the beginning of my journey. And I wrote him, I said, I want to be mentored by you. He sent me a form to fill, and I did that. And I kept receiving mentorship lessons every month. So that was the beginning of the journey, how I got to know him. And because the way we started our ministry with the black people, with the way we were brought up, all the religious way, so it was now difficult for me to break. So I now said, okay, instead of hurting these people, let me just mix up everything. you know. So I will preach Pastor Sunday's message.
Some people are still doing that.
I will end up with Mountain of Fire prayer. I will now end the service with Oyedepo's declaration. Some Sundays we will do deliverance in the church service, and everywhere will be, you know, everywhere will be scattered. This is how our ministry has been, because I thought I was going to please the people so that the people will not be angry. Because if I just say, oh, we are not doing this way, everything has to be like this, people will leave. So I kept like that. And I want to tell you, mixture,
Cocktail.
we have for about 7 years we've been operating. There has been one confusion after the other in the church, one confusion after the other. The climax came last year, that there was so much confusion. So one pastor who was, you know, this deliverance thing, I mean, had to leave. And we had so much peace now. And so now, upon all this mixture, what I'm thanking God for is that the truth that comes from Pastor Sunday is what is standing today in our ministry. There has been so much confusion, but today, sometimes we go to church, I will just, after praise and everything, my preaching time, I will just put Pastor Sunday's video, we sit down, that is my message for the day, and we watch, and we close the service. So, what I'm trying to say is that I have been so blessed, I have been so transformed.
So you are trying to tell the lovers of cocktail,
Yes.
because a lot of people do that. They come to watch my program right now, but they just mix it up with what they're already doing.
No.
Just to add additional spice to their.
So what I would advise those who are watching as pastors, if you try to mix, it will not work. I have tried it. In fact, those prayer, die prayer, I have all the books. And the more I prayed them personally, the more I prayed them, the more I had attacks. Ooh. Yes. The more I had. Yeah. Since I stopped praying all those prayers, I sleep in peace.
She was saying that she got peace.
Yes.
After she got rid of those.
Yes. Yes. So God has really delivered me and delivered my family and delivered our ministry from religiosity. So it is a great blessing to be here. Even though I've been trying to come for HMT all the while, the years, it has not been possible because of Uncle Sam. So this time around, I said I have to take the bull. Uncle Sam.
We are going to have our own language in DSA.
So Uncle Sam system, yes. Yes, everybody understands. So today.
But some people are not here now because of Uncle Sam.
Yes, that is. So I'm encouraging everyone to stay strong and be connected. And since this broadcast, live broadcast started last year, and I've been saying it that this is the best thing that has ever happened to the history of Christianity in Africa, for Africans. This broadcast we are doing, Pastor Sunday is doing, is the best thing that's ever happened. Even though I did all I did, the live broadcast has, created an indelible impact in my life, in my family. I mean, I've learned so much compared to the past 25 years of my Christianity. I've learned so much. I cannot compare. I was just wasting time. So I thank you, Pastor.
Thank you so much.
I encourage you.
Hi, everybody.
Benita.
So I'm Benita from London. The way I connected to this Pastor Sunday Adelaja is pretty similar to what everybody has been mentioning today. The reason why I was attracted to listen more and to learn is because I have gone through the internet again. I've seen some horrible things that they were mentioning about Pastor Sunday, and to me, I saw that, again, it's another Nigerian pastor that wants to seek attention, trying to cover up. So I had a bit of questions. I wasn't really sure of what I was going to get myself involved into. And my story is quite huge, but I'm just going to cut it really short. The reason why I was attracted to Pastor Sunday is because he studied the same background as me. He was a journalist by profession, and that's what I studied in university. So I found like a connection. I was like, this person.
No, you say maybe just another Nigerian swindler.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you are not Nigerian?
No, I'm not Nigerian.
Oh, okay. Now that explains it.
No, I'm not Nigerian.
Because for Nigerians, at least they know that they are not all evil. It's people who are outside that might be suspicious. So that statement makes me to know that you are not Nigerian.
Yeah. So then I studied a bit about his life. I tried to understand where he's coming from, why he's doing all these live broadcasts. And I was a member of all these big assemblies. Like I went to Dunamis International Gospel Center under Pastor Paul Enenche. I've been to Oyedepo's ministry. So I've been to all these big churches. And recently I came across the live broadcast when the Hallelujah Challenge, I don't know if you all remember, in June with Nathaniel Batty, because I'm into music as well. So I kind of liked what was going on, but at the same time Pastor Sunday was live as well on Facebook, so there was like a clash. I was like, for 10 minutes I'll be on the Hallelujah Challenge, and then I would just switch to DSA, and then I'll go back, and it's like there was a conflict. I didn't quite understand what was going on. And then I asked my husband, because my husband is Nigerian, I asked him to tell me more about this person that I'm trying to understand and study and like maybe get some inspiration. So then my husband said, no, go ahead, that's fine. I think he's okay. Don't worry about what's been put out there on social media, on all the newspaper. Don't follow that. I think he's got a good sound doctrine. There's something good about this person. And one of the messages that actually connected me to my purpose, to my destiny, is one of the videos, the series that he did on YouTube about your calling, your purpose, what you were created to do. So I just listened to one message, and it feels like I saw my whole life, like just like everything started all over again just by listening to one message. So I was sharing with Mayowa the other day that I had a project that I wanted to do, like I kind of like set targets and goals, what I want to achieve in the next 5 years or 10 years. And I say in 5 years' time, I want to do this. And just by listening to that series on purpose, discovering your calling, in a space of a week, I was able to establish what I wanted to do in 5 years' time. So I was like, how can this person take something that was like kind of dead on the inside of me and kind of like redeem the time for me? Because what I wanted to do will cost money. In my mind, I thought you need to have money to do things, but I've understood actually if you just do it out of love, out of like for the people, God himself will actually bring things together for you. So I didn't really put the money thing again, because he was talking about discovering your purpose, what you were created to do. So I started to do things, and in a space of a week's time, I was able to set up this radio station that we've been talking about.
That's the influence. That's how Antichrist influences.
So
evil influence of Antichrist.
Yes, so in the space of a week, because I was already hosting shows, doing TVs in London. I work with all these mega TV that all of you know that are from London, Olive TV, Faith World. I've been to all these places, in my VPA, all these Belief TVs that you guys know what's going on out there. So I kind of like was already in the industry, but I set myself a target 5 years, but just listening to one message just on purpose, that 5 years was translated into a week. So what I did, I looked myself away from distractions So I know Pastor always teaches about solitude, just like lock yourself in your room if you want to do a project, because I was reading one of his latest book, How to Regain Your Lost Years, and there's one in one of the chapters he's talking about solitude and all that, and I said, okay, I'm going to look myself for a week and just get this project out of the way, because I felt like I was pressed, like something just pushing me, just do it, just get it out there, don't wait for 5 years. Why do you need to wait? And that's how things started to happen. And for me coming to HMT, it's just because I wanted to actually see if this person was real. Like, I wanted to actually physically see this person that is talking to us on Facebook. Like, I did send him a message and he replied like the same day. I was like, who's that? How can you, who am I? I am just, like, you know, this thing that he's been preaching against, like you always feel inferior, like you always have to say yes sir, like kind of like that mentality of feeling like no, you can't really do something was a bit in me.
You hear that question? They say, who am I?
Yeah.
Wow. You have the greatest status. A child of God. Same as me. Can you hear that question? Who am I? Just because I replied? I mean, I think this is probably more what African religiosity has done to our mind. Because Europeans don't always feel like that. They feel it's okay, maybe not all of them, but a little bit, yeah. Because of, but if they have been in churches, of course, where churches have always created, that's so sad. Church should not be creating this dichotomy. Church should rather be creating a leveler. Yeah. But church is creating a division. And it's so sad because Jesus brought dignity to everybody. He brought equality to everybody. But churches now are bringing separation.
So that's the reason why I came here to see this person, if you're real, if I can like actually, if the person I'm seeing laughing and being so like very charismatic, I was like, is this person really real? Like, again, God, give us another chance. Let it be the last time. We don't want to be deceived again. Let it be the last one. Like, it's like my last shot. I said, God, I'm just going because I want to see something. I want truth. I want us truly to have someone we can look up to, because you're a mentor to many, not just the Nigerians. And I say, God, if this man has done what he's done in Europe, we praise God. And if he's able to pass on this knowledge that he's acquired for years, let it be now. Let it happen. Amen. So that's why I only connected in June. We are in November now. So I said, I'm just going to go and just give it a shot and see how we can learn. And that's why I'm here.
So there's a lot of skepticism out there in general.
Yeah.
Because she's saying, let it be true, let it be real.
Yeah.
So much disappointment out there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Matthias.
All right. Thank you. My name is Matthias Agbu. I came all the way from Houston, Texas. How I met DSA, I think, let me give you a little brief about my background, and you will see the connection. In 1994, I lost my father, and I was 24 then, and I was in university. Why I bring that up? Because that experience helped me to discover myself. Because my father is like the breadwinner of the family, but that experience happened to me when I was in university, and totally my support system crumbled. But that happened when I was in final year, fortunately. So I struggled for 1 year to graduate. Then in 2004, through a supernatural means, I was able to discover what my purpose is, because God actually revealed it to me that I've called you to help the helpless in the society. Then from 2004, then in 2008, I decided I said I need a platform where I can carry out this mission on earth. So I decided to form an NGO. I call it. I named it after my late father, Luka Agbo Memorial Foundation. Primarily, the focus of the NGO is to help orphans outside the orphanage, because that was my story. When you talk of orphans, you always think of orphanage, but there are a lot of orphans that are not in orphanage. So what happened to those category of orphans, which was my story, because I experienced abandonment. There was nobody to look up to. So I understand their story, their struggle, and that was my connection. So I decided that, you know, in my lifetime, I will make sure at least I sponsor up to 1,000 orphans through university education. Thank you. So I started the journey, and I was young, having a foundation, because it's not common. Everybody would think that when you have a foundation, you're a very wealthy person. But I said, I needed a platform. I started a foundation, started with 16 orphans. I started paying their school fees, myself and my wife. And I was using my income. It's not like I have any business or anything funding that foundation. And I made a commitment. I said, you know what? I'm not going to go beg for money, because there's this thing about NGO. Anytime you talk about it, people think you're trying to I say, I don't want that. So I said, let the work speak for me. Let the work speak for me. So that's how we started. Now we've been able to help up to 200 orphans. So, yes, thank you. Then along the year, the Lord revealed to me, and the location of my calling is actually in Taraba State in Nigeria. Along the year, the Lord revealed to me, I saw multitudes of youths in Taraba State. They were struggling, there was no hope. Then I was groaning in that experience, thinking of what can I do, what can I do? Then that was a part of the youth empowerment programs in my foundation. So I decided to get into the youth program. I started a youth group called Youth on Purpose, whereby they identify community-related issues. Then we come up with a project on that, and I'll help them to solve the problem. Now, I'm trying to fast forward to tell you how I met DSA. Then between 2013 and 2015, the Lord reveals to me many times that He's calling me into a leadership position in my state. And I didn't understand that. I said, I've never get into politics. I have not any intention of getting into politics. But it keeps coming back. I didn't do anything about it because I was so focused in my career and doing the foundation work. Then in 2016, in May precisely, he came again. He said, if you don't prepare for the future I'm taking you to, when you get there, you will crash. You have to prepare. Start getting leadership books, listening to Miles Monroe, trying to get all kind of materials that John Maxwell, but it was not connecting. Then in August, so I'm trying to fast forward. In August, the Holy Spirit said, send an email to Adelaja. And I said, I've heard about you, but I have never cared to look up or get your message, because I heard about you, the church. I said, well, this is more of people in ministry. I mean, I never knew you did anything beside church. I never knew that. So say, write Pastor Adelaja and tell him your story and your situation. Then I went to the website, I saw the email. I said, no, if you send email to this website, if you send email to this email address.
auto reply.
Yes, exactly. That was what I said, okay, let me just give it a try. So, and I don't know what to ask you, but I just wrote my story. I just said, this is my story. This is what God has revealed to me. What should I do? I just wrote that just to see what will happen. Then after 2 days, I got a reply. I was shocked, actually.
Same story.
Yeah, I was shocked. I got a reply from you. You gave me some advice on, you explained to me what is happening. Then I wrote back again. I said, what exactly should I do? You recommend me to go to your YouTube channel and watch 200 videos. Then and also, I forgot to say this. When the Holy Spirit told me to write you, He said, don't Google and search for him. Wow. Yes, because I knew that could have affected me if I knew something.
Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Holy Ghost.
Yes. Yes.
Holy Spirit.
Yes. So I did.
Some people would have Googled,
Yes.
go the life,
Yes.
and lose their destiny.
Exactly.
That is what
That will have happened to me.
I couldn't also Google. I was like reluctant to Google you.
Yes.
But I knew you knew it.
Wow.
Up to today, I've not Googled you because it was a specific instruction that contact him, don't do any research on him because there's a specific purpose why he wants me to reach to you. So I never Google or check anything because I knew it's my nature. I'm an engineer by profession, very analytical. I could have looked and said, well, maybe I don't need to, but that's exactly, I followed that instruction. And you told me, go and listen to 200 of my videos on YouTube. When I got there, I said, I was shocked. That's a lot of content. I said,
On YouTube.
on YouTube. Yes, I was not following the live program. I never knew of the live program anyway, but.
Holy Ghost left back.
Yes,
Wow.
So I went on, and you gave me specific instruction. You said, go series by series, don't skip series. Now, and I followed that.
What the man?
This is just in August. This is just August. I mean, it's not too long ago. But the intensity that I've put into it, whereby nothing wrong with the live program, but it's a distraction to my focus because I am buried in the YouTube videos. So I started with series one. Series one caught me. Series one caught me. He said,
I got to know you more. Please, don't register with one of the girls to see me before you go. I beg
okay, I will, sir. Thank you. Yeah. You say you cannot love God without loving people. That caught, because I saw myself in you. I said, because I'm passionate about Jesus. I said, if Christians can be like Jesus, I mean, we talk about Christianity. Everybody will be attracted to Christianity if we would just be like Jesus. And you talk about how you have to value people. If you don't value people, if you don't honor people, how do you say you honor God? So I was so connected to series one. Then you say, don't jump series. Then sometimes, so I will scroll through. I see a lot of good series down the line. Yes, but I didn't go to watch, but I just increased my intensity to catch up so that I get there. Yes, because I saw some good, like self-confidence. I also see where you said when you lose your job, you should. I said that would be interesting. Yes. So I followed that, but the message, the area that really. My wife also joined the intensity. Yeah, my wife is addicted to it now. Anything I listen, she is also listening to it. So we discuss it every day. We talk about it. So just that I'm a little bit ahead of her. So the one on finances was really a big eye opener for us. The Lord has blessed us with. I was blessed with a good job. I had a good job. I was sent on an expert assignment in Nigeria for 4 years. We did well. But now, I learned something from the financial series because I'm passionate about kingdom projects. I'm passionate about people through the foundation. And I save money, but I never multiply my money. I said, look at me. I was doing everything right. But I said, I
think the knowledge was not
there. Yeah, it was not there. I never thought. I just saw it that, I'm investing in people. And the motivation was just compassion. I was not doing it because I want to prosper or anything. The motivation was compassion. I just have compassion. Everywhere I see need, I want to solve it. I mean, like you said, you don't keep money on you that because you have like $100,000 in your pocket by 3 p.m. to be. I said, that is me. And you say you have a system. I said, that is what we didn't do because needs were coming across our way and we couldn't just let it go. But now, okay, why I said that is that doing all these good things we're doing, helping these kids, went on an international assignment, top performer in my job, and having this great vision that God is leading me into something, came back to my home office in Houston, then I got laid off. That was shocking to me. I said, God, what are you trying to tell us? Because we felt we're doing everything right. Now I said, I have over 45 orphans depending on me to go to school. What will I do? But we said, as long as we eat food in this house, we will still be able to help this kid. By God's way of doing things, we're still able to sustain the scholarship program. We're still able to do the youth programs. And I've been without a job for a year, but God has just been helping me. But the good thing was that we saved money. So we're living on the saving, we're still doing the foundation work. I said, I cannot stop. I can't just disconnect helping these young children. So when we got to the financial series, I saw a lot of things I didn't do right. I was doing the right thing quite okay, but I was not multiplying my money. Because I felt if I multiplied my money, what I get from that money, that investment should have been taking care of my vision. But it's a lesson for me. Then I got to the crisis adversity series. I got a lot of relief. I said, well, I might be going through this for a reason. And we also talk about everybody goes through that. When God is preparing you for your next assignment or next season, you go through that. I get relief. I said, I'll keep trusting God because I know something big is coming our way. So this is really...
Have you got into the losing your job?
Yes, I got into... I did that.
Work, yeah.
I got that. I got into losing your job. Fortunately, because what you recommended there was that isolate yourself, discover who you are. Fortunately, I know who I am already.
Yes.
Now, what I've struggled with, which I'm glad when we went on the trip this evening, actually some of my questions were answered from the rehabilitations. I wanted to know, because you said bury yourself in your calling because that is where your provision is. Now, if you're called to be a doctor, you bury yourself in that calling, and when you work as a doctor, you get paid. Now my calling is we're actually spending money. So how do I, that is a struggle for me because well, I know my calling, but my calling requires that I have income coming in for me to service my calling.
And that's why you have to connect all those series together with the financial
yes
series.
yes
Then, I always say 30% minimum, between 30 to 50% of whatever is coming in.
Yes.
You put it for multiplication.
yes
So even though you are working, burying yourself.
Yes.
But why burying yourself? Something else is working for you.
absolutely
And that's the connection.
Yes.
I don't know who is in charge of that center you went to, because I don't even know. Then the reason is because I don't care. It doesn't matter. Like I said, we've had about 300, more than 300 of those kind. We have of those things.
Yeah.
And the thing, we don't sponsor it. Church doesn't sponsor it. Anybody who has the vision creates and generates his money and sponsors his own vision.
Yes.
Initially, maybe some people, just different ways. We have taught them how to do that.
Yes.
But, can you imagine 300 of those kind of things? And it's not the church. Right? And then we have like 600, actually 3,000 NGOs that have come out of the church. But the church is not even, it's not the church thing. It's your thing. It's your vision. It's your passion.
Yes.
But as you are talking, let me talk to you. I want to challenge you. It's good that you lost your job, because I want to challenge you. Why you say you are still without a job? I want to challenge you to believe God to come up with a vision of multiplying what you are doing. You have 40-something kids now, right?
45, yeah.
Okay, I need you to answer a few questions. Number one, how many centers or orphanages will you need to have to cover, let's say, 100,000 people? Because the number that I see in my spirit is that you have to throw yourself a challenge, and I'm going to be your partner. You have to throw yourself a challenge in your lifetime to rescue 2 million kids. Wow. I'm guaranteeing you the finances. I'm going to find the finances for you.
Thank you.
2 million. Yes. What did I say? 200? 2 million. 2 million. So it's going to be our project. Okay. You do the job, I find the money for you.
Thank you.
So what we need to do is that you need to come up with a project.
Okay.
It has to be substantiated. Okay. It has to be backed up. Okay. You have to say you can take care of those kind of things. And my other requirement is that 2 million must be all over Nigeria.
Nigeria, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
maybe beyond. But
Yes.
every state must be covered.
Yes.
So what will it take us to get 2 million kids out of the street so that there will be no? I think by the time we get 2 million, there will almost not be orphans again in the street. Maybe they will still be there, but they will not be in the street.
Yeah.
And then other people. But 2 million orphanages, by the time we take care of those, and then raise them up to get to education
Yes.
and university or
Yes.
whatever profession,
Yes.
and prepare them, that will be an army on its own.
Yes. Yes.
And if we can prepare an army like that,
Yes.
that army, equipped by the right teachings and
Yes.
the principles of the kingdom of
Yes,
God.
yes.
We could change the world with all that
Yes.
2 million.
Yes.
That's the kind of project that you could give your whole life to.
Yeah.
And concerning the money, believe me, by the grace of God, the only thing we need to pray for is that God should release me from here, because until I leave Ukraine, I cannot even touch my money. Right now, you would know that I was having a loss. I've been having a loss for 8 years, but last year we won. They threw it out of court, and then the politician that we were fighting with before we started it, came back to government. And he will return the whole thing. So they arrested everything I have right now. So that just happened in January again. So, but as soon as that is over and I'm able to travel, we have influx, we have movement again.
Amen.
So, but everything is okay. I have my stuff, especially outside. They are working. Everything is working. But I cannot access until I travel. So, write it down, and I'm saying it to the whole world. 2 million people. Let God give you long life. Amen. And give us long life. Amen. If you are going to be able to do that 2 million people in 10 years, we are going to do it. Amen. We don't want to stretch it out for too long. But the money for it, this is Pastor Sunday speaking in the camera to the rest of the world. The whole world is working. Even if it's going to cost $1 billion, I'm going to find it for you.
Amen. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, because in actualizing the vision for them, what I've gone ahead to do was I plan to open a private secondary school for the orphans. I had that design, everything, but the major challenge there was how do you sustain a free private school for orphans? Because I say, normal kids, they have options. If a public school is not working out well, the parents can move them to private school. Orphans don't have that privileges. So I say, okay, I can come up with a private school that teach them entrepreneurship, the values, and all these things. Then you can actually move them to university because you're responsible for their curriculum. So those are some of the things that I've been involved in. And
there was a certain, maybe that was a month ago, when I had, there was a series I did on vindication, talking about loving your enemies and loving Satan, witches and wizards. And a lot of people came up against me and started saying, why should you say people should love witches and wizards? And so I decided to do a series on vindication, on how Christians will love their enemies and God will bring them and make peace with them and things. And one of the series I did was on northern Nigeria. And I was saying that, all these problems I'm preaching about is going to the north also, but the best Christians we still have in Nigeria are from northern Nigeria. And, maybe it was, I think it's on YouTube already, but it's toward the last ones you will get to see it. So I'm happy that you are from northern Nigeria because they are not totally as spoiled as the southern Christians. Yeah, the best Christians we still have left now are those who have been under pressure and under attack, under persecution, under Boko Haram, but they have been able to stand still. And the gospel they preach is still like forgiving your enemy, love your is still there. So I'm very committed to what you are doing. And thank God that God brought you from that area. Thank you. Who is the next one? No, not the... No. I don't want to put her under fire. Don't show her face. That's just that.
But I just want to appreciate God for allowing me.
Be showing me.
I just want to appreciate God for allowing me to meet I've been a Christian all my life, and one thing I know is that I love God more than anything in the world. And I believe in my heart that I'm a favorite child to God, and He has been my father all along. I happen to marry a very good man, and that after God, I would say is the next person that have ever happened to me. And I thank God that He allowed me to enjoy Him all His life. So it was when He went to be with the Lord that I happened to meet, that I had to think of what is the next thing in my life? What can I do? And I remember that He was always saying that let these children finish their education, that after their education, I'm going to his hometown, that he will be going to his hometown to take care of all the kids, because he will tell a story of in the whole village that after elementary school, that it's only 2 kids that will go to high school, that college. That after that, all other kids will just be doing nothing. So he always had that project in his mind that after his children, the education is good, but he was unable to accomplish that. And then after he went to be with the Lord, we sat down together with the children. I said, what can we do? And then we decided that we are going to take that up. So Hannah was like, so I know I have this burden in my heart too, but I don't know what to do. I don't even know, I'm a spoiled wife. I don't, So I'm like, what are we going to do? And then one of these days, I've known Pastor Sunday for maybe past 10 years. He bought, a lot of Pastor Sunday's book that we bought. After a while, we stopped listening. But on this day, I knelt down and I told God that, Lord, I just want a direction. I'm confused and I just want to do something in my life. Because I believe with my age, it's like my life has been wasted, doing nothing. In fact, I didn't even know then. I didn't know it was wasted at that time. So I got to, by God's grace, I ended up seeing Pastor Sunday on the YouTube, and I said, okay, let me start listening.
YouTube?
Yes, sir.
Not Facebook?
No Facebook. On YouTube. So I typed in help for a Christian that lost loved one. So the message of Pastor, the message you gave about Pastor Miles Monroe came up. So I listened to it. I'm like, God just penetrated into my soul. Because before then, when I go to church, the preaching that I will hear will be in the form of, God doesn't do evil. And sometimes, when things like that happen, maybe, you're a sinner or something, that kind of message. And when I get home, I'll cry. But this message was totally different. I'm like, okay. So since then, I started following him, listening to him, and I was, like, when he asked me about what do you think about me, I feel it's like grace. I kept talking about grace. I don't know how to interpret it. But I now said, okay, I cannot wait to meet this man. I don't normally travel. I have phobia of traveling, but I just got on the plane and I came. And I just found joy, and I cannot explain. I came with my daughter at that time, and we were pleased. So all my life I've been a Christian, and I've never, I have a burden that I love children. I just want to help people. I have this compassion, but I don't know how to express it. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to go. But meeting Pastor Sunday was like a miracle. Now, I at least have, which it has never, it's like impossible thing, you know. I'm able to establish a foundation on my husband's name.
And it's tomorrow is going to be the anniversary of...
Yeah, it's going to be 1 year tomorrow that he went to be with the Lord. So,
and within that time...
And now I'm able to partner with Victor Bamishaye to start a foundation helping children to go to school. And I just want to say that I am ready. I have never
so you are actually not just fulfilling your vision, but even the vision of your family.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Both for you and for him.
And for him, yes, sir. And I, you know, reading all the books, because I'm not a book reader. When I'm coming from work, straight to the library to go and read Money Won't Make You Rich, Miles Monroe, Church Shift, you know, and listening, reading book here. I say, oh, it's time for the live broadcast. And then I was doing like my brother here. I would be like, prayer series. Okay. I would be like, oh, and there's another one here. Oh, after prayer series, I would say, okay, let me just listen to one and then go back to, you know, it's been a blessing. I just want to say this is a miracle. This is a miracle we are waiting for. This is a miracle. This is the miracle that people are, instead of pushing somebody down, this miracle, you don't have to push anybody down. You don't have to, you know, pray with all the energy you have. You just have to do and allow the Holy Spirit to move. In fact, I cannot explain it, but I just thank God that I have a new joy from the Lord.
So I supposedly Pastor Sunday came to our church 10 years ago.
What did you do to your face, my God? Look at your face. Is that your skin or you got it from heaven?
No, it's the mascara. I shouldn't have worn mascara today. No, so supposedly you came to our church 10 years ago, and I never knew who you were. I never knew any of your teachings, any of your books. But it wasn't until several months ago that my mom became massively obsessed with you. And I'm not exaggerating when I say obsessed.
Are you serious?
Yes. I would call her. In the background, your videos would be playing. Every morning before I woke up, I would see texts of links to your YouTube channel, links to your YouTube video every day. In fact, when we were driving, we had this, the prop that we can put our phone on, and she would put the phone on it, and your video would just be playing in the car. So you became part of our daily schedule. And it's funny that you guys spoke on not Googling Pastor Sunday. And with me, I love to Google, I love to use my research. I love to do my research. So because my mom became so obsessed, so I'm like, who's this pastor? So I Googled you. And unfortunately, I came upon some negative articles. But I just saw how happy my mom was listening to you that I couldn't even tell her. I was just like, let me just, because she was always in comfort when she listened to your messages. So I was just like,
how can such evil be good, eh?
So I was just like, let me not.
How can such good be evil?
So I was like, let me just not say anything. You know, she's smiling. I'll just stay in the corner. She'll just listen, you know, to the messages. And eventually I started picking up on your messages, and I'm just like, the articles that I'm reading and the person that you are, they're not matching up. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense. So all of a sudden my mom said, you know, we're going to Ukraine. And I'm just like, I'm like, what's in Ukraine? And she's like, I wanted to go see Pastor Sunday. You know, I want to talk to him and, you know, just see him in person. So, you know, seeing how my mom had already been changing prior to her wanting to come to Ukraine, you know, she started swimming for the first time. Nigerian adults don't swim. She started going to the gym. She started doing new things. So I'm like, you know,
living again.
she started investing, saving money. So I'm like, to not hinder her progression, so that she can keep moving. I was like, let me support her, and I'll go to Ukraine with her in September. So that was even during the time that it was the anniversary of 9/11, which I spoke to you about, was when my dad had used to work in the Twin Towers, and God had spared his life that day. He worked on the 80, yeah, he worked on the 87th floor, and God had injured his ankle the weekend of in a church soccer event for older men. So he had missed 2 trains that morning, which didn't allow him to go up the elevator to his floor. Unfortunately, everyone on his floor, all of his colleagues had passed away. Him and another person who went on a business trip were the only 2 on his floor that he knew of that survived. So it's just so awesome getting to celebrate awesome anniversaries of my dad, you know, in Ukraine with you, and just in the presence of God. And even meeting you, it just kind of opened my eyes to the fact that no one is better than me. Previously, you know, I went to my parents' church, and I never really knew my pastor. I never really talked to her. She never really reached out to me. So there was always a barrier. And then when I went to school in Maryland, because I'm from New Jersey, I went to churches there. And especially during the time that my dad's health was deteriorating, I was kind of looking for some outlets. So I was looking for pastors to talk to and to reach out to pray with me. And I didn't get that. Sometimes I would try to call the pastors. And there's this one pastor that I tried to reach out to. And he knew that I was, you know, supposed to call him. He knew about my situation, and I called him, and he sent the automated message for the iPhone saying that I'll call you later. I never received a call back.
Someone just loaded that.
Even up to this day, I've never received a call from my own pastor. So I just always felt like I didn't feel like, I don't know, I can't really explain it. But I came to you, and you took me to your house, and we were talking, and you were just so down to earth. When I first met you, I was kneeling down for you, because that's the Nigerian way of greeting. And you kneel down for me, and I'm like, I was like, and me? But meaning like, me, what's happening? What's going on? So you just seem so down to earth, and your messages of just depicting, you know, how no one is better than you, you know, and how pastors go about, you know, addressing their congregation. It really, really opened my eyes.
You need to introduce Christianity.
Yeah, like it really, really opened my eyes. So I'm honestly just thankful just for your messages, the time that you take to, you know, come up with God's message for us to be touched, and for us to also spread out the word of God. Like, I just really appreciate your time, because I know that behind the 3 hours that you broadcast for, you're researching, and you're, you know, in the presence of God for much more time. So I acknowledge that, and I really, really am so thankful that I'm in the presence of you guys, and in the presence of God, you know, during the 1-year anniversary of my dad. I know that, you know, I'm a daddy's girl, so every time I talk about my dad, I'm always gonna cry. So I'm just so pleased that I was able to hear your messages, and I was able to just even meet you in person and to talk to you. And the other day you said that I should join your team. And I might consider it. I don't know yet. So we'll see where it goes from there. And thank you. I thank God for your life.
First of all, I want to say you've got a wonderful skin. I don't know, I'm looking at your skin, it's like you are an angel. And I wonder if I'm the only one noticing it. I'm not the only one? Okay, because I'm saying it. And I wonder if anybody else is saying it. And then your smile. It doesn't just look like this, somebody who's mourning. I know you are crying all the time. But the grace and the glory of God is so much on you. And I can see through this outward beauty into your destiny. You know, that smile, that skin is telling me something even brighter about what God is going to do through you. You've lost a very wonderful man, one of the greatest picture of a husband and a father that I ever had. And what I think God is saying is that she is going to be so proud of you. And think that you are going to do something that's going to make his name memorable.
Amen.
I think God is going to give you such a strength from within. Just like your outward beauty, face and smile is so charming, your life will be like that. Amen. What you are going to be is going to be so noticeable like that. Amen. It's going to be so attractive like that. Amen. You are going to make your name beautiful, the name of your father, the name of your household. God is going to give you some special grace and anointing that you'll be able to, just soar and fly, and it's going to be effortless. God is going to put his weight behind you. This glory, the wind of God is going to carry you. So even though people might not understand why you have to do this, why your mom is doing this, even she might not understand why she's doing this, taking you along and doing all that, but I think that woman is listening to God. I think she might not even know to the extent or the scope of what our obedience would do. But it's so vital to the future of what God will do in your destiny, why your even mom is taking all these steps. Thank you. We are going live for the live broadcast and for our HMT official starting in the next 7 minutes. Is it 7? 5 minutes. So 5 minutes break, but 4 minutes break. You have to be here 1 minute before so that we could have your seat and everything. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so that was the Sudami. We have to take this thing out. We have to rearrange. We need to take this out.
I was saying about the skin.